I know September 11th was a day to just pause and reflect, think about what happened on this day 22 years ago, honor the lives lost. Today's a day to get back to work to make sure nothing like that ever happens again. Cutting straight to the chase, are we any safer today than we were on that day more than 2 decades ago?
I do believe we are, but I think in any situation, as someone who has been in the first responder, public safety world my entire life, as emergency managers, we always ask ourselves, are we better off today than we were when the last time we dealt with an incident like this? And I think we are safer. This country is resilient, and I think that we have provided much resources, both on the local level, the state level, and of course the federal level, to make sure that every resource that's needed is there to keep our country and our community safe. The purpose of this field hearing today, one that I'll be chairing as chairman of the subcommittee on emergency management and technology, is to make sure that the questions that everyone have are answered. You know, are we better off today? And I think that we are, but I'm sure there are areas where we can do better. And we're going to have that conversation just a little bit later on this morning, and we're going to have it with real stakeholders. The commissioner of the FDNY, the head of security for the Port Authority, Nassau County Police Commissioner Pat Ryder, and of course, First Deputy Commissioner Pfeiffer. This is a group that they have lived this for the last 22 years, every single day, going to work, trying to keep their community safe. And we're going to see what we could do better, collaborating and communicating with local agencies, state agencies, and of course, making sure that the federal government does their part as well.
Yeah, we're certainly living in a time where global tensions are high. You've got the war in Ukraine. Relations are frayed with China. We've talked about all the Chinese nationals gate crashing at our own military bases here across the country. Our border is hemorrhaging. Do you fear another 9/11 happening?
I think that anyone in our situation, anyone that serves as a member of Congress, any good American would fear that every day. But we can't live in fear. What we need to do is make sure that we work each and every day to make sure that we are ready, that we are capable to defend ourselves. And of course, when it comes to policies, we need to make sure that we have policies in place to keep this nation safe. And as we've seen over the last few months with the ridiculous amount of migrants coming over our southern border and the astronomical numbers of gotaways, we know that there are people on the terror watch list coming into this country, and we need to remain vigilant and make sure that we can do all we can to keep each other safe.
And later on today with this field hearing, in your eyes, why is it so critical for lawmakers to hear directly from New York City public safety officials like Mr. Pfeiffer about the evolving threats facing our country?
Because I think that New York City is really the epicenter of preparation. They have been the boots on the ground. Not only, New York City itself, but the surrounding communities like the suburbs that I represent in Nassau County and across Long Island. It's really been the epicenter. When people think about planning and preparing for, God forbid, a terrorist attack or attack on this nation, one of the biggest targets is always the New York metropolitan area. And I think to have the backdrop of the 9/11 Museum and to really reflect upon all that was lost that day, and quite frankly, all of our friends and loved ones and family members who continue to pass from those horrific attack on our nation. I think that is the perfect backdrop to really give an eye-opening experience to members of Congress from across this country who may look at New York City and say, they have all the resources they need, they get funding. Well, I don't think that there's ever enough. And I think what's really most important is we need to collaborate. We need to make sure that even the smallest agencies, first responder agencies, whether it's the fire service, EMS, the police departments, even those small departments throughout this country that are tucked away in small communities, make sure that they have the resources that are afforded to the bigger departments like the NYPD and the FDNY.
Does it make you nervous? I know with all this talk about the migrant crisis that is happening in New York and overtime being cut at city departments, does that make you nervous in the fight against keeping something like we saw on September 11th from happening again? That now you have a budgetary issue happening across the city at the very time where you're talking about needing to fortify the country and the city even further?
Yeah, it does make me nervous, but I also find solace in knowing that as someone who's worn the uniform, as someone who has worn that NYPD patch on my shoulder, I know that we're dealing with some of the best, and same goes for the FDNY and EMS and all first responders, Port Authority in the New York metropolitan area. But what does make me nervous and concerned and quite frankly a little bit angry is that everyday New Yorkers, the ones who are, infusing money into the New York economy, those who are paying taxes each and every day, they're the ones that are going to suffer. That, we're seeing a 5% decrease, budgetary cuts, right away. And then there's supposed to be another one in 3 months and 3 months after that. That's 15% in a pretty short amount of time. So again, we're cutting from resources that are actually needed by everyday New Yorkers, those who are homeless, those who, need the public safety, the infrastructure, our sanitation. Really important departments throughout this city are going to suffer because, quite frankly, there was no plan in place by the mayor and the administration. When they were touting the fact that this was a sanctuary city, they should have realized that they needed to have plans in place.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.